Hey, what's up, guys? This is Seth, Keeping It Real. I am super excited because I didn't have to drive very far to be here at Jungle Scout's office with Greg. Dude, I've seen you so many times online. It's my first time to meet him in person.
And you live right up the road.
I know, it's crazy.
How could we not hang out earlier? It's crazy. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I hope you guys absolutely love this video because we're going to tell you guys two things you can do right now, in order to be prepared to build your Amazon brands in 2020. And there's two more that you may have missed. You need to go over to Jungle Scout's YouTube channel and watch them because you're not going to see them here.
And I'm excited to be chatting with you about this. Let's talk about what it's going to take to win next year.
All right, so this one I absolutely love, and there's a reason for it. And in my opinion, it's the long road, but it's the most fun. I like to call it brand value. Now, I know that's a super cliche word, but I want to explain what I mean by that. What I mean by brand value is creating a product and a brand that goes with that product that people love. So for example, when I have my products shipped out to customers, they open the package, they get this little insert card, and on that card there's a web link they can go to. And that web link gives them something of added value, whether it's as simple as registering a warranty or getting a opportunity to win a gift product or to get a discount card or instructions or a video or join a Facebook community. It's adding value. And then as soon as I'm able to connect with them at some level off the Amazon platform, now I or my VA or my team can start building a connection because it's all about connecting, you know? So that's really, really big, that brand value. I was thinking earlier today, we were chatting, if someone purchased a pair of Air Jordans, they would probably sense quickly if they were a knockoff or not. And what's cool is the people, the buyers, end up becoming the greatest protectors of your brand because they're so passionate about it. They're the ones who are going to say, that doesn't work. Wait a minute, this is a knockoff. Hold on. And they actually, it's like the first stages of building a brand, we're protecting it, the patent or the trademark or the copyrights. But then later on, these people, the shoppers are falling so much in love with the product, they get upset if it's a knockoff and they go public about it. And now the brand has its own built-in protection, but it wouldn't have worked if we hadn't built that connection with them in the first place. Because the word, in my opinion, if I just think about the word Nike by itself, it's kind of a ridiculous word, like Nike. No offense to Nike.
That's a ridiculous
word. Nike, what does it even mean?
I don't know.
Right? But then we think the world of it because of the trust that they've built around that name. And now that name is worth billions of dollars because of how they connected with their customers. Heck, I go to New York and I buy Air Jordans just because it's Nike.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of my favorite brands right now are the ones that I feel like I have the biggest connection with. And I think this is more of a recent thing, is brands that just feel very authentic.
Yes. That
they have their own spirit and attitude and it feels authentic. There's a lot of behind the scenes information, or they kind of take me along that journey of how this was created.
Right.
And I think that's actually a really great way for Amazon sellers to kind of build this brand that people feel like they can be connected with, or that they would, ultimately stand up to protect, like you're mentioning, right? Yeah. We like human connection. And if it's just this very sterile brand that we can't relate with, or it doesn't have its own personality, then it's hard to have that human connection.
Yeah, I read this study that people are going to Amazon more and more to find new brands. So for example, there's these people who loved a backpack. I'll give an example. One of my sisters, she and her husband, they loved a backpack. So they went to Amazon and they purchased these products. They love them, and so now every time they go to Amazon, they look for that same brand. Later, she began buying on their own e-commerce online store. That's such a great example. So now it's hey, that's my brand. I trust them. Anytime I need something related to backpacking or hiking, I'm going to that brand. Right. And I think if we can build that kind of connection with our customers, oh my goodness, the opportunities are huge, because now the value of a brand isn't just the sales coming into Seller Central every 2 weeks. It's now, man, if I was to turn around and sell this company, what are they getting with it? A lot of trust. It's taken years or months to build.
What else do you think people can do? Because, when you're selling on Amazon, it's more difficult to create this brand or the brand perception or the personality behind the brand and pass that along to the customer. What are some things that you've seen that work well for doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things is if you have your trademark and your brand registered, for most Seller Central accounts, they're continuing to roll it out, but almost everyone I've seen so far, you now can add a video as one of those photos, have a feature video.
Right.
And that little mini video, even though it's just a few seconds, it still is a connection point. People can connect more with a video than a photo for the simple fact that there's more material. There's many of those frames going on. So that's one, initial way. Another way is what happens after I have their email and their name, and I no longer am depending on Amazon for that, because that customer freely gave me the information. I didn't pull it from Amazon. In fact, Amazon doesn't exactly give up that information anymore.
No.
Remember the days when Amazon would even show you their phone number? It's like, what in the world? That was before people caught on, wait, I could market by texting. But now that we have that name and that email, I can invite them into a group, a community. And now they're part of a community of people who are passionate around this brand. Another example is having the name and email allows me anytime one of our writers will post a blog that will be sent out, and it's a little simple email, and then part of it's linked to the blog. They click on it, they go to the blog, and we added value. So I think in my mind, you said it so well, you said personality. And I even thought about how some of these brands have sort of a sarcastic personality.
Yeah.
Some of them have a really humble personality. Some have a fun, it's like meeting a person, A brand is almost like a person. And when people connect with it, it's so powerful.
Absolutely. I also, when people are entering really competitive spaces, so I did this pitching competition called 5 Minute Pitch, and a whole bunch of different brands were pitching their products or companies to us.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that stood out to me was a company that was selling coffee beans. Okay. So it was like extremely competitive niche. They were also trying to do well on Amazon. And this particular brand did a good job with kind of like picking a fight.
Yeah.
Or like choosing what side they wanted to be on. You know what I mean? And I really like this, especially for like hyper competitive spaces, of like picking a side, kind of like picking a fight, like standing up for like something you believe in, because the only way you can like really get good exposure in these like hyper competitive markets is like to really niche down inside there. So it's like, okay, how do you niche down inside of coffee beans?
Right.
And you can do it with the marketing. You could do it something like, this is only for like grizzly tough guys, or like something like that,
Right.
Or, you could go like the complete opposite end of the spectrum, like make it like really, really feminine, and like this product that maybe really like girly girl type people would enjoy, or like you could think of all these different areas to go with that. And now you're finding like sub niches of like a more competitive market.
Yeah, I love that approach, because, and this is so good, it's too competitive here, so I just go to a subcategory. If I can't compete on kitchen dishes, I can compete on kitchen plates. If it's not plates, then it's, the plate holders. I can keep going down and down until the competition's less, but it's niched. I'll give one of my favorite examples. One of our students, and he's totally fine me sharing this, 7 Bean Coffee. Amazing product. And the story behind it is so incredible, Greg. What he did is it's the reason it's called 7 Bean Coffee is there's a story, and I don't know if it's like legendary fiction or real, but it's still cool, like Robin Hood.
This point doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, people don't care. But something like this happened, where way back when Assyria had power over India, India was not allowed to grow any coffee beans. So someone smuggled in 7 beans from Assyria into India and planted them and began to secretly grow coffee. So this group of all these Indians, like, they're enjoying coffee. Hey, we got coffee.
Yeah.
And so his entire company grew out of that, to a point where he was able to strike a deal with a company I can't mention, but a very huge brand that is now helping them to promote it like crazy. And they fought and they struggled so long, working so hard. And I remember him sending message after, okay, what about this? What about this? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know, man, let me get back to you. Like, it was hard, super competitive, but the story carried them through. And now people resonate with that. The fact that, wait a minute, you can get premium coffee beans in India in a way that maybe it's competitive with South America and some of the places that we more traditionally know to brew a very nice cup of joe.
Cool. I like that a lot. So I think there's a lot of value in all 3 of those areas. Do you have anything else that you think is going to be required to win 2020?
Yeah. I think this point I'm about to make is more defensive than offensive, but I think it's really helpful. It could still be perceived as offensive, but let me explain. So when you launch a new product on Amazon, if someone else decides to sell on that listing, pretending to be a reseller, when in reality they are manufacturing it from the same manufacturer or a different one, even though you've patented or trademarked it or copyrighted, whatever you've done to protect it, one of the fastest ways to defend against that is if you include a warranty with your product, and it very clearly has to say it on the listing. Ideally, it's on your Shopify e-commerce website or whatever website you use as well. when you fill out that copy infringement form to ask Amazon to remove the hijacker, showing proof that you are the original company with the warranty, that hijacker cannot legally claim to have a warranty because they're not the main company. It'd be like if I decided to resell Apple computers, I can't claim that I bring the warranty to because I'm not the manufacturer. I'm at the mercy of Apple to produce more, or doing arbitrage, which we do as well. I can't claim to prove I have the warranty. Therefore, it gives you an edge. And a warranty is just one example. I like to call it built-in protection or built-in value. And the idea is including a warranty, sometimes a recall, as crazy as it sounds, sometimes a product service guarantee. And this is something we've done very effectively. So we have this toy that we sell and it sells very well. If someone complains about it, doesn't like it, part of our deal is you can send it in and we will fix it for you. Well, in practicality, we'll say, you know what, just keep it, we'll send you another one.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously cheaper to do that. Now, do we technically have someone sitting there fixing the toy? No, we don't. It's easier to send a new one. But
right.
Because we're showing that on our listing, a competitor hijacker can't claim to have that. Therefore, it gives us a lot more leverage when filling out that copy infringement form to get them removed from the listing. So any kind of things you can do to add to your product and your brand, even phone service if you have a VA, email support service, product service, guarantee, recall. There's like, I have a list of 11, I can't remember all of them off the cuff, but that you can include with that listing is really helps to protect from hijackers, and it makes you stand out. And I listed it last because I think it's the most defensive approach, but I think there's a time and place where it can serve you really well.
I've actually never done this before. So how do you list it on or how do you describe it on your listing? You just have it in the text there, or like on one of your photos, you show a little badge, or what do you do?
So on the last bullet point, it'll say includes blah, blah, blah warranty, or includes product service agreement, or includes phone or email, whatever it is, on the last bullet point. Or you can also put it in the product description if you want.
Okay.
And then if I include a card with it as well, oftentimes, not with all of them, but some of them, it'll include something they need to do to claim that product service or to claim that warranty, which is good for me because now we have their name and their email. And as those orders come in, even if we just get a 3 to 7% return rate on those, we're slowly, for every 100 sales, we have 3-7 people now who know about our brand, and we can slowly build that out.
Yeah, I knew about it for that benefit, but I never thought about it for like the copyright infringement purposes. Yeah. So then how do you prove that when you submit the form, or have you found that Amazon doesn't require you to prove it?
So you just refer to it. So there's no really official way to say, hey, like a number or something. Like, so for us with our trademarks, we'll include our trademark number if they're selling on our listing. So that helps, but that's for the trademark. But then for the warranty, we'll just refer to the listing. Hey, we have a warranty on this, as you can see on the listing. And so all they have to do is go look at the listing and see, yes, they have a warranty that they've included on this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I agree. I guess there's multiple benefits from doing that, right? Like one was to build the list, and two, added defensibility against hijackers, which is a powerful thing. That's forever, I think, going to be kind of like a problem on the Amazon platform, as long as they keep the same marketplace dynamics that they have now. So it's always good to know all those little things you can do to kind of help combat that. Yeah,
totally. And I think Amazon takes it seriously because in what I've seen over the last several years and where they seem to be headed is they're supporting brands more and more and more, like true legitimate brands. Like they're partnering with people like Lady Gaga and other people to build out brands just for this celebrity. So if there's this brand focus, this brand respect, the more we do to invest in building that brand, the greater the return on that's going to be for all of us as we do it. And again, you may not see the rewards now, but long term, it's so worth it. And it's kind of cool because this is like your baby. You're building something you love. Like this is, you designed it yourself and people like it. Like that concept alone is incredible.
I agree, really powerful thing. At Jungle Scout, we have quite a few connections with different people at Amazon. Like some work in the API department, of course, like to help our software, but we've just made connections with a bunch of other people too. And one thing I hear over and over from them is their added focus in getting more brands on Amazon.
Yep.
So whether they're private label brands or just having the brand sell directly on Amazon as opposed to through their resellers.
Right.
And I think a big piece of that is also just their added investment in giving brands these different tools that you get through brand registry.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. I think I think that is one thing that's become more and more important just over the years on Amazon.
Absolutely. When we had our e-com event last March in Los Angeles, we really worked hard to try to get Amazon to be there, to speak there. And they did. It was interesting to me is they brought 4 people total, but 3 people specifically, 2 of whom spoke publicly. And their 2 main topics were Project Zero and brand transparency, the 2 main things. And what I learned from them was like, why, this is cool, you guys are here, but tell me more about it. They really want the world to know about it because then it's helping to deal with that hijacker issue. And these are like billions of dollars poured into this stuff, like in order to launch these, but it allows us to protect that brand, which also protects Amazon's reputation.
Right. Yeah, because I think there is like an area that they kind of tarnish their reputation a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like some bad press around counterfeit items.
Wall Street Journal came out with an article on it, and they're like, these are all the products that are going to... And it was kind of crazy. I think it was a little unfair because they talked about, was it like 6,000 products that you should never get? But if you divide that by the number of products on Amazon, it's like a tiny percent. Like, I was like, wow, Amazon's doing actually really, really well. But still, a few thousand problematic or fake products still looks bad. And so Amazon still has to deal with that.
Right. Those are probably going to be some of the loudest, most upset people. I would be too, if you got a total counterfeit pair of Ray-Bans or whatever else. Like, yeah, no, it's not.
Right. So if you were watching this right now, Greg, what's one thing you would apply in the next 30 minutes based on what we talked about?
So while we were talking, I realized, a few of my products, I already have a warranty included in them. And I was doing it primarily to collect email addresses. However, I need to just head over to my Amazon listings now, make sure that's included in my actual listing so I have more defensibility against reporting hijackers and getting them kicked off my listing.
That's awesome. So that's something you can apply right now. Greg, thank you so much for having me, man.
Appreciate you coming down. It's been so much fun.
Yeah. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, you need to head over to on YouTube. Just search Jungle Scout, you'll find it. 2 other tips you did not hear about today on how to be prepared to build your Amazon brand in 2020.
Looking forward to see you guys over there. Bye.
See ya. Bye.